Good evening everybody and welcome to the Virtual Open Wheel Series Season 7 reveal. Let me just put up the fancy graphics for you here. There you go, and there I am on the webcam. Welcome along everybody in the chat, we can see you. And welcome to Season 7. It's been a year since we last did a Val stream. I think it was March 2020 Val's last did a stream. In fact, I can check that statistic for you right now on the Fastest Motorsport YouTube channel. Believe it or not, all the videos are actually still live. They're just unlisted, so you can't hear extremely squeaky me anymore. There we go. There's OFC. There you go. 28th of March 2020 was the last time we did a Val's stream, and well, here we are, ready to go through a quick reveal of Season 7. I do appreciate that the Indy 500 is on, so I'll be as quick as I can. There's still nothing. No, I can tell you for a fact that we are on. That's certain. I have the chat up and the stream there. So, I think first point of call, we should talk about the car. So, we did all of that, and here it is. It is the Hiatus FT50. It's one of the inbuilt cars in rFactor 2. It's Formula 3 spec, if I'm not mistaken. It was produced in 2014 for the Toyota Racing Series. It has a Toyota engine, producing 205 brake horsepower. And it is a lovely little car, actually. It's really nice to drive. Quite pointed, and well, you can slide it quite easily, so it's a bunch of fun and things like that. So we have got an lap for you, and knew it. It says Ryan. I think a couple of people knew. We did kind of leak it a little bit. I told a couple of people, but it is the FT50, so it hasn't got a halo, crucially. So you won't have to deal with that on your single monitor setups, which I know is a pain in the arse sometimes. But so yeah, it's a really nice little car, and we've got a lap for you. Sean did a lap, and here it is. It is a lovely little racing machine, actually. This is a Road Atlanta. Only downside is it hasn't got the best gear ratios. As you can see, he's in 6th gear already, 30 mile an hour actually, breaking down into the chicane. You can see the back end really getting away from him as he heads down through the first sector. It's very bumpy and it's very low to the ground as well. It's a proper little racing car. I've got in my notes here that Norris, Stroll, Hartley and Schwartzman were all champions of the Toyota Racing Series in this car. There you go, as you can see, really fighting all of the bumps. The car really lets you do that quite impressively. It's a proper racing car. We were talking about going Formula 1 spec, but we decided for a first season back it's better to go Formula 3 kind of and just let everyone get back into it in the new simulator, and then in the future we'll go Formula 1. There you go, trail braking. Again, they're not too easy to lock up, these brakes actually. It's quite a nice balance. The blind corner is really scary as he heads through the final corner and completes the lap. So that is the FT50, and it's a lovely little car. We decided we couldn't run Formula 1 tracks, actually, most of them, with this car because of the lower gear ratios, which means that you top out at about 150 mile an hour, I think it is. So it's a little bit difficult to run tracks like Monza, which is now in the game, actually. They're releasing that as a DLC. Speaking of the calendar, we did decide to run a couple of Formula 1 circuits, but the season starts at Donington Park. Everything is free content on here, unless during the season, of course, they release DLCs for these tracks, but we'll still try and run this if we can. Donington Park starts the season. It's the British Grand Prix. It's on the 26th of June. We've made sure that this doesn't clash with any other leagues. The only league I don't think I was able to check personally was VMG, but either way, it should be fine. And then we go to Vallelunga on the 10th of July, so it's every couple of weeks. And then we go to Croft. So a couple of British races, actually. We decided that you can't really do races on, well, a country, 8 different countries, because there just isn't enough tracks that would suit this car. So we had to go for Croft, 2 rounds after Donington. That's on the 24th of July. And then Valencia, that is the Ricardo Tomo circuit, of course, the one that Formula E ran. It won't be the Formula E layout, it'll be the MotoGP layout, I would imagine. That's on the 7th of August 2012. I've done it again. I should have checked that before the stream. No, it's 2021, I can assure you. I've made that mistake on the previous graphic as well. It's my bad. And then it's, of course, Road Atlanta we go to on the 11th of September. And then we finish off the season in Interlagos. And I think our plan is to run 2 seasons a year. There'll only be 1 season this year, of course, because we're starting halfway through the year, but there'll be kind of a winter series and a summer series. And then the idea is that the summer series will keep consistent with its cars, or one of the series will keep consistent with its cars. I think my personal preference would be to run that as a Formula 1 kind of yearly thing, and then we go do, you know, lower Formula or maybe IndyCar or something along those lines in the second season of the year. And so Montreal and Interlagos, you could argue that Interlagos and Montreal are a little bit too big for these cars, but we thought we had to keep Montreal because every season of Rouse ever has run Montreal, so it'd be a little bit unfair of us to not run Canada. And I think it's a nice little homage. There's been some class Canada races, of course. Season 4, we had Simon and Max Reichel. I think it was 0.08 of a second between them as they crossed the line for second position. So, you know, there's some class races we've had at Montreal, so it'd be a bit unfair for us to not keep Montreal. And I've driven the car around various, a couple of these tracks, and it doesn't seem to be too bad, as long as you can kind of, as long as you can kind of get away with a little bit of topping out, but you can make it back under braking anyway. And speaking of setups, it will be open setups we're running in this championship. We wanted to keep the team aspect there, so that that you have the kind of development race of setups that you almost have in a lot of the big leagues at the minute. Where different teams can get on top of the car and kind of learn the setup secret. So we wanted to introduce that and keep that kind of standard. That being said, the gear ratios can't be changed. We'll just be keeping the R Factor 2 how they run it, and that's the same with things like track limits. A lot of that will be decided by the game, and that should bring me on nicely. Actually, it was only 10 minutes into this stream, which is quite interesting. Onto the race format. So it's going to be qualifying starts at 7 o'clock BST. In fact, if I get the if I get the rulebook up that I have prepared. It's on my Google Drive, actually. This will all be released after the stream, don't you worry. If I get the rulebook up. I believe we have got a practice session at 6:30. That's when the season... Well, that's when the weekend starts, and then the idea is that if you don't have to take part in the practice session, but if you have any technical issues, you can sort them out in the practice session. There'll be a few people here to kind of help you set that up and things like that. And then, of course, we'll go through to 7 o'clock qualifying starts, and then I've got here how long qualifying will be. Qualifying will be a 10-minute session at 7 o'clock. And then straight after qualifying, we'll have a little warm-up session. And then depending on who, what the drivers think, if everyone's ready, then we'll go straight into the race. But, we'll just run the warm-up as you would normally, pretty much. And so then we'll do a 40-minute race, formation lap, standing start. And there'll be no mandatory pit stop, but you might have to make one. As I apologise, there's a bit of a lag on the stream here. It's not the most glamorous I've looked in that freeze frame. There we go. Valve streams with technical issues. Some things never change. But let me just give a refresh here. I think it's all fine. It'll sort itself out in a minute. I've got green on my end, so there's no real issue there. Yeah, stream quality good. It's YouTube server side. Oh, and now we're experiencing issues, and now we're back. There we go. There we go, we're back, and I'm sorry about that. So yes, where was I? Yes, so there won't be a mandatory pit stop, but you may need to make one for tyres and things like that. It's completely up to you. You want to keep it as open as possible in terms of the rule book, so that drivers can have a bit of a fun experience. They don't have to be like, make an overtake and it's, really technical. This one rule on page 34 of 200 says that you can't do that. And yeah, so that's basically everything I need to go through, and we've got a couple of questions in chat, and if you do have any questions, then please do let me know. That's what this time is for now, as we're not too far into the stream. So, someone asks, can I run as an independent? So no, you can't, unfortunately. Well, at least on the sign-ups, you can't run as an independent. If there's, for example, there's enough space on race day, we may let you run in the league car. And yeah, well, we may let you run in the league car and just do a race. But I think the idea for now is that no, you have to have 2 drivers per team, and then of course there'll be a priority system for who gets in. We'll run. I think we'll start running with the teams who raced in season 5. And obviously that'll be priority, season 4, season 3, season 2, over new teams. But of course, if someone like Burst Esports decided to join for whatever reason, then I think you can understand why it'd be good for the series for us to put them in over, a smaller team that hasn't raced before. So it'll be that kind of, application. I think we'll have, well, we haven't decided it exactly, but I think we'll have about 15 team slots, which would give a grid of 30-ish, and if we can't fill that, then I think anything over 20 is a decent grid size, and would actually beat what Val's used to get. I think we did races with as low as like 13 drivers, so it's all in good fun. And if there's any other questions, I'll quickly go through the point system and things like that whilst we wait for some questions, if anyone has any. So it will be standard FIA point system, 25 points for a win, and there's no fastest lap points or pole points or any of that rubbish. It's just the people who have that. But yeah, there should be plenty of seats for you there to kind of get your get your career started, I suppose. But I think there'll also be reserve seats and things like that, because I mean, we are technically a new championship on R Factor 2, even though we did run R Factor 1 and get to be the biggest league on there. Although I suppose it was a pretty dying game by the point we got We got those 15 years old. Will the Twitter exist? I don't have access to the Twitter. I think most of it will be ran through the Fastest Motorsport. If I can get back into that Twitter account, I'm actually locked out currently of all of the TFM social medias. The only way I'm able to get on this is because I gave myself admin permissions on my YouTube channel for Fastest Motorsport. So I need to recover the account. I forgot the password. So if I can get that back up and running, I will. But other than that, worst case, no, I'll just create a new Instagram and Twitter, and call it 2.0 or something like that. I don't know. Maxine will have to give me the login details for that if he's willing. Although we've been trying to keep this very much as he's just, the old owner, and of course, if he wants to do any actual admin work, that's completely up to him. Because yes, Ryan, you forget I haven't actually used this channel for, when was our last stream? Well, 3rd of May 2020 was our last stream. This is a very, very old channel. 18th of June last time we did a video. So, it's been a lot of months, actually. 11 months since we last did TFM. But I'm planning to revive this channel as a whole thing. I think we might do some kind of watch long for various races and things like that, and maybe move mine and James's podcast onto here. So it will be a bit of a better channel, not just for Vals. I think that's the view for this. It's just Vals giving us that springboard to kind of improve the channel. So I've got the Discord message, if you excuse me. There we go. And yes, so that describes that. And is there anything else I've missed? Oh, right. I should probably talk about this for now. We will have red flags if there's a massive crash on turn 1, or pretty much as the standard. And I think we'll also be doing one-off events in the off-season, like we used to. Whether that be livery rules. Oh, you want livery rules? Yes. Okay. So, I'm going to have to kind of make these off the cuff, but I think we'll keep the old Vals livery rules. As in, no sponsors you don't own, or images you don't have the right to, no memes, and, basically just, don't put a picture of a dildo in your car, and I think we'll be alright. But I think you wanted to know if you can run 2 different cars. And I think as long as the base design is okay when it comes to these liveries, then it should be okay. So, for example, in Season 3, 8.6 ran a blue car and a red car. And literally the only difference in the design was the red and blue bits. And I think that is okay. I think in terms of sponsors, as long as the logos are kept quite small and it's not the main sponsor, drivers can obviously, they might want to have personal sponsors if they want to see the championship as that serious, and if anyone wants to put money in like that, then they're, so for example, say I've got my helmet, or use this as an example, if you want to have a massive logo there, as long as both drivers have the logo, then you can of course put smaller logos around the side. And for example, Reading Game might have the big Reading Game logo. That stays the same. That's fine. But then one of the drivers might have, I don't know, this on there. There it is. This on the side of the car, on the airbox, and then another driver might want to have the Fastest Motorsport on the side of their, that's fine. I think so, as long as we keep it sensible and use common sense, then I think it's okay. It's a very long tangent, but I think you've got the point there. And we're halfway through the Indy 500, so if anyone's got any more questions, we'll give you a couple of minutes while I go through anything we've got on the Discord. This webcam's already being memed quite hard. You see, I decided to go for the webcam because I thought, I'm clowned in Portugal. In terms of special liveries, I think we'll keep it within reason. So I think the current F1 rules is that you're allowed 1 special livery a year, And I think we'll probably do something like that. So don't change your car every race. We don't have one special livery, for example. I mean, let's have a look at our calendar. You know, if you've got, I don't know, you've got Valencia. What's probably the biggest race? Montreal, we'll say, because we've had that every season. That's the only race we've had every season. If you want to have a special livery for that, then you're more than welcome to. But just don't keep it. Don't change it every single race, because that would be silly and would cause a lot of work for the admins, and they don't like that. I know it's a massive pet peeve of the ERC admins, actually. Drivers changing their teams changing their liveries every single race. It is annoying, and we don't want to. We don't want to have, you know, have to remake the skin back completely every single time, because, you know, Mazumda Motorsport needed to change a tiny little logo on their airbox, or, you know. Plus, I don't think it's good for you as a team, you know, especially if you're trying to take, you know, use vows to take your team a little bit more seriously. Then it's, you know, you don't want to change your brand image every single race. That would be silly. And well, I mean, we're trying to we're trying to make a league that's fun. I like the old vows. It's fun, but also quite competitive. So if you want to take it seriously, you can do. Just don't change your livery every single race. You know, use it within reason. I think we'll probably create a system in, like, the Team Managers Association channel or something like that that describes, you know, where you have to request a livery change, which would be fine. You know, say we want to run this for Montreal, we'll probably say yeah. But I think that wraps it up for me. I think we've covered everything. I think the last thing we'll do, we'll officially release sign-ups. So let me just create a new channel. Team sign-ups. And there we go. And we'll send you over sign-up form, and you'll have a couple of weeks to do this. It's on the Discord live, and I'll put it in chat as well. You have a couple of weeks to do this. We won't be making the decision. I mean, we've got 27 days until the first race. So, I mean, we don't need to do anything for 2 weeks. So, we'll give you enough time to get those sorted. And no full course yellow, no full course yellow. Too much effort for what it's worth. Especially as it's a sprint league. So, you know, there's no real point doing full course yellows. I think the reason it works in endurance is because you don't want to say, you know, oh, you crashed, you've got to retire, you know, 6 hours into the 24 hours of Le Mans. So that's why they have code 80. But for a sprint league, if you crash and you can't get back to the pit safely, then we'll just retire, because it's a 40-minute long race. You know, it's not going to harm you that much. You know, you don't need to practice for a 40-minute race as much as you would for an endurance race. So, you know, it's just I guess it just sucks. Of course, the rule with 70% of the race being completed, that will stand. So if you do 70% of the race and you finish, and you still somehow finish 10th, then you get points. But other than that, I think that is all from me. I think that's all the questions we need. We've been bang on 25 minutes almost. So I think for now, I will see you. By the way, we do need a streamer still. We haven't found a streamer yet. So if anyone wants to take up that role, then feel free. Please don't sign up if you don't have both drivers confirmed yet, because we want to, as I said, it's not first come first serve. So hello Chris. So it's not first come first serve. So, you know, it will be made based on who the teams are. So, you know, you've got like 2 weeks to do it. So there's no, well, we'll say a week and a half probably. We'll keep you updated, but there's no rush. Basically, you know, if you sign up right now, there's going to be no difference if you sign up in 2 days. So, yeah, so don't sign up if you haven't got both teams confirmed, because we will not accept the entry. As it would just be a nightmare. Oh, also, one last... Oh, sorry, that's my phone. I only get messages whenever I'm streaming. But, if you want to race 2 teams, I guess that would be allowed, as long as you don't be silly about it. and have like, 15 different teams. As long as we don't have half of the grid like in IndyCar being Penske cars, then I think it's okay. And try and keep the names different. Don't have like Mazumda B. Have like some form, like how Red Bull have what used to be Toro Rosso. But other than that, I think we are sorted now, unless anyone has any more questions. And I'll be off to watch the rest of the IndyCar, which is currently on lap 106. We've missed a good quarter of the race here. So I would like to thank you all very much for watching, and we'll see you all later. Good night.